What if the best way to win a football match was to embrace madness? To abandon structure, invite pressure, and build a plan that on the surface looks completely broken? This is the story of Jordan, a team whose greatest strength is a system that defies all modern football logic. In the brutal landscape of the 2026 World Cup, they are the definitive underdogs, drawn into Group J alongside world champions Argentina, the technically gifted Algeria, and the high-pressing Austrians. Their football looks like a mistake, a flurry of movement that seems to have no anchor, no rhythm, no clear plan. It's a gamble. It is tactical chaos. But that's the illusion. This isn't a flaw, it's a feature. This isn't a mistake, it's a weapon. This is a meticulously drilled system of disciplined chaos. And it is why this team might just scare the giants of the football world. This is the secret plan that Jordan hopes is the key to their survival, the tactical masterclass behind their 3-4-3. The Exposition, a system built on a paradox. So, what is this madness? It all revolves around the 3-4-3 formation. Normally, a 3-4-3 is a declaration of intent. It's built for aggression, for high pressing, and for dominating opponents in their own half. It's a system of clear defined roles, 3 center backs who build play, 2 central midfielders who control tempo, athletic wingbacks who own the flanks, and 3 forwards who press and create. In its conventional form, it's structured, balanced, and devastating. But this is where Jordan breaks the textbook. Under Moroccan coach Jamal Sellami, who took over in June 2024 and built on the foundation of his predecessor Hussein Amouda, they've twisted the 3-4-3 into something that shouldn't work. Their system isn't about dominating possession. In fact, they are perfectly comfortable without the ball. Their plan isn't to outplay Argentina, it's to drag them into a tactical street fight where logic breaks down. The core idea is a brilliant paradox. What looks like chaos to the opponent is actually a set of predetermined triggers. It's a series of if-then scenarios drilled into every player. If the ball is here, we swarm. If they overload that zone, we shift. The formation is fluid not because it's disorganized, but because it's designed to morph based on the opponent's moves. Against a team like Argentina, their 3-4-3 will almost instantly snap into a 5-4-1 or a 5-2-3 defensively. This isn't panic, it's the system working exactly as intended. It's a controlled retreat meant to absorb pressure, clog passing lanes, and create the very disorder from which their attacks are born. This isn't chaos for chaos's sake, it's weaponized unpredictability. Section 1. Defensive chaos, the art of frustration. So how does this disciplined chaos actually look on defense? It starts with a backline described as a compact central wall that's incredibly tough to penetrate. Instead of a traditional back four, Jordan deploys 3 central defenders, with experienced players like Abdullah Nassib and Yazan Al-Arab anchoring the unit. Their main job isn't just to mark strikers, it's to create a constant 3 versus 2 advantage, snuffing out central attacks before they can even start. This solid base allows the rest of the team to take calculated risks. The real madness begins in the 4-man midfield. This isn't a flat, static line, it's a dynamic, perpetually shifting unit. The 2 central midfielders are the pivot, the calm in the eye of the storm, while the 2 wingbacks are the agents of chaos. Against a top side like Argentina or a fluid team like Algeria, Jordan won't press constantly. They'll wait. They'll cede possession in harmless areas, settling into a compact mid to low block. But they have specific triggers. A pass to the sideline, a player receiving the ball with their back to goal, a moment of hesitation. When that trigger is pulled, the chaos is unleashed. It's a coordinated swarm. The nearest forward presses the ball, the wingback jumps the passing lane, and a central midfielder pushes up to close the space. For a split second, Jordan's shape looks completely broken and asymmetrical. But it's a trap. The goal is to force a panicked pass, a heavy touch, or a turnover in a dangerous area. This is where the wingbacks, like the tireless Ihsan Haddad, are so crucial. Defensively, they sprint the entire length of the pitch, dropping back to form a flat 5-man defense when under pressure. This denies opponents the width they desperately need when the middle is clogged. It forces teams like Argentina, who thrive on intricate passes, to play wider, more predictable crosses into an area where Jordan's 3 center backs have the numbers. The goal isn't always to win the ball back high up the pitch, it's to disrupt the rhythm. Elite teams feast on tempo and quick combinations. Jordan's strategy is to turn the match into a series of broken plays, stopping the game from ever finding a flow. The psychological toll can be huge. When every pass feels like a risk, teams start to hesitate. They play more safely, more slowly, and more laterally, and that is exactly where Jordan wants them. It's a strategy of tactical frustration, of pulling a structured opponent into a game without one. Section 2, Offensive Chaos, from disruption to devastation. Of course, frustration alone doesn't win games. You have to score. This is where Jordan's disciplined chaos flips from a shield into a sword. The entire defensive strategy is designed to create specific types of turnovers, and in those moments of transition, the team is at its most dangerous. When they win the ball, there's no slow, methodical build-up. There's no desire to establish control. The immediate, drilled-in response is one thing: verticality. Get the ball forward as fast and direct as possible to exploit the disorganized shape of an opponent who is just committed to attacking. This is where the front three explodes to life. While their opponents are still scrambling back, Jordan's forwards are already making aggressive, diverging runs. This isn't the perfectly complementary movement of a top European club. It is again controlled chaos. One forward might stretch the field, another might dart in behind, and the third might drop deep for the ball. The aim is to give the player on the ball multiple immediate high-risk, high-reward options. The key to unlocking it all is their starman, Mousa Tamari. Playing with the creative freedom others aren't afforded, his role is to be the wild card. He drifts from his position, pops up in pockets of space, and drives at defenders with a dribbling ability that sets him apart. He is the player designed to turn a moment of chaos into a real goal-scoring opportunity. Alongside him, attackers like Ali Olwan and Yazan Al-Naimat provide the blistering pace needed to make those counterattacks lethal. And once again, the wingbacks are essential. One moment, they're part of a 5-man defensive wall. The next, they're surging forward on the overlap. This creates huge problems for opposing fullbacks caught high up the pitch. A quick switch of play to a sprinting wingback can bypass an entire midfield and put Jordan on the front foot, running at a backpedaling defense. It's a huge gamble. This approach relies on clinical finishing in high-pressure moments. Many of these attacks will fizzle out. But the strategy isn't built on a 100% success rate. It's built on the idea that if they can create 10 of these chaotic moments in a match, just 1 or 2 might lead to a golden chance. Against teams like Argentina or Algeria, who will likely dominate the ball, those 1 or 2 chances might be all they get. If you're enjoying this tactical breakdown of how Jordan plans to shock the world, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We break down tactics from around the globe every single week, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Section 3. The Tightrope Walk, Weaknesses and Adaptations. But a high-risk strategy like this walks a very fine tightrope. Its greatest strength, its unpredictability, is also its greatest weakness. For the system to work, the disciplined part of the equation is everything. If that discipline falters, it stops being a strategy and becomes just chaos. And that leads to disaster. The main weakness is the immense physical and mental toll on the players. The wingbacks have a lung-busting role, switching from deep defense to high attack in seconds. One moment of fatigue, one late recovery run, and a world-class opponent will exploit the space left behind. The press triggers also require total concentration. If one player jumps and the others don't, the structure shatters, and a simple pass can slice the defense apart. This is the 5-0 humiliation pattern that haunts every underdog. An early goal can shatter the fragile confidence needed for such a demanding game plan. If Argentina scores in the first 15 minutes, does belief in the system waver? Do players start second-guessing their runs? That is the nightmare scenario for Jamal Sellami. His biggest challenge will be keeping his team's head in the game, even if the score is against them. The system also has to adapt. The plan for Argentina will be completely different from the plan for Algeria and Austria. Against the world champions, it will be about pure survival. Jordan will likely drop into a deep, compact 5-4-1 block, ceding the vast majority of possession. The pressing triggers will be rarer and more cautious, focused on preventing central penetration above all else. A win isn't necessarily the goal. Keeping the score close and emerging with confidence intact for the next 2 games is the priority. Against Algeria and Austria, however, Jordan can afford to be bolder. We'll likely see the defensive line push higher and the press become more frequent and intense, aiming to force turnovers in the opponent's half. In these games, Jordan will look to impose its brand of chaos. Securing 3 or 4 points from these 2 matches is their most realistic path to advancing, especially since the 2026 World Cup format allows some third-place teams to progress. The success or failure of their campaign hinges on this adaptability. It rests on the player's ability to flawlessly execute a deep defensive system in one match, then switch to an aggressive front-foot version in the next. It's a massive tactical challenge. Jordan arrives at the World Cup as a tactical enigma. They aren't built to play beautiful possession-based football. They aren't designed to go toe-to-toe with the world's best in a conventional fight. They are built to be a problem, a complex, frustrating, and unpredictable problem for opponents to solve in 90 minutes. Their 3-4-3 system is a paradox in motion. It looks chaotic but is rooted in deep discipline. It gives up control to create explosive moments of opportunity. It defends by morphing its shape, plugging gaps with a tireless midfield and a solid wall of 3 center backs. And it attacks by weaponizing the very chaos it creates, launching direct counters that aim for knockout blows. Under Jamal Sellami, Jordan has embraced an identity that is pragmatic, intelligent, and perfectly suited to their underdog status. They know they probably can't outplay teams like Argentina and Algeria, so they've chosen not to play their game at all. Instead, they'll drag them into an uncomfortable, rhythm-breaking street fight where structure collides with chaos. The journey through Group J will be a tightrope walk. The risk of collapse is real, and the demands are astronomical. But for a nation making its historic debut on the world's biggest stage, this tactical gamble is their best shot at survival, and just maybe, at shocking the world. Will this disciplined chaos be enough? Will the system bend without breaking? Let us know your predictions in the comments below.
Smart fans don't just watch, they analyze. Over 100,000 thinkers strong. Join us on the road to 250,000. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Subscribe and raise your football IQ.